Welcome to episode 13 of Under the Volcano with me, Nigel Simmons in Bali.
And me, Ian Wallace, in England.
In England, in the UK, man. There you are. My God, you've gone back. So
I know.
Coming up this week, we've got a pensioner who regrets going to the souvenir shop, driving differences between being in England and Bali, and surprise, surprise, zero alcohol Guinness, which is apparently pretty good. But first, let's go to this.
Okay. Holy shit! Oh my God!
Yeah, so we're still waiting for beer from Island Brewing. I don't know, they've gone very quiet. We love them, but we haven't got any love from them, which is a bit sad. But maybe they're just too busy. Yeah, but I hear, Ian, that you've been drinking zero, and I've seen it. I have seen it on various social media platforms. You know, this zero alcohol Guinness, and I hear it's pretty good.
It is a beautiful drop. Here you are. Look.
There you
go.
Okay, good.
Zero,
all right.
zero.
Get it open. Zero alcohol. What time is it? What time is it for you there?
It's 20 past 10 in the morning.
20 past 10. So it's acceptable to open a zero alcohol Guinness at 20 past 10 in the UK.
Yes, I think so.
I'm on Bali time zone, and of course I'm drinking Bintang because we got no Island Brewing because they haven't sent any more beer. So I'm going to open this and enjoy it. So while you should be drinking coffee, I'm definitely on beer o'clock time. So cheers, buddy. Yeah.
Yes. Cheers. Cheers, Nigel.
Let's let's first have a look at this feedback, and we've got some good feedback again. Thank you so much for tuning in on our YouTube channel or just listening to us on Spotify and your podcasts software or platform, whatever you're using. We do appreciate it. We got feedback this week from Scott again. Love him. He says, Nigel, you look like a Bombay. This was last week. Because I didn't wear a shirt because we were talking about Ubud, and I got a lot of comments about that. And
did you?
I
all
get
good?
it. Yeah, and I knew
favourable?
None of them good. No. Liana from Switzerland says, Nigel, put a fucking shirt on for God's sake.
Yeah.
And also got some grief from the wife.
Right.
So please wear she nicely said, please wear a shirt, which is basically akin to if you don't wear a shirt next week, I'm going to kick your ass.
It's going to be trouble.
So I'm wearing a shirt this week, and as I should, I suppose. But it is very hot here. I mean, it's like it's outside. It's 30 degrees. Inside, because I've made a studio, it's got to be at least 35 degrees. So I'm sweating again like a.
I'm sitting indoors. I'm sitting indoors, and it's 10 degrees.
Well, you're in England. We'll get to that.
Yes.
So Scott says that I nearly drowned myself in the toilet bowl, Nigel naked and drinking gay beer. I think he's referring to the romantic day lager, which was sold out.
Shock horror.
Came on the podcast. Yeah, so I had to buy the Bintang, which is a lovely drop.
Yeah.
And he says, wish I was drinking with a pikey. You can't use that word, but with a gypsy to make you come to your senses. Now, of course, Scott is our friend from Big George's friend, and we told the story last week, finally, of Big George fighting his way up the hill in the Ales Appleby Fair and having his balls blown off. So Scott promises a new story for us about the Marquis of Bute. I'm very curious about what that story is going to be.
Yes.
So we'll look forward to that in future episodes. Let's have a look at this.
This week from the Sanor Weekly.
The Sanor Weekly. God love it. It's the gift. Thankfully, again, that keeps on giving. Yeah. So I've been through it thoroughly, and we love it. And I hope you can hear the actual paper.
Quality of the paper.
And if you could smell the print, that'd be great. And the staples and stuff.
Yeah,
I've been through it meticulously with a fine tooth comb. And the only respectable story I could find in it is about a 77-year-old Australian woman who's died after falling through the glass front of a souvenir shop on Sindhu Beach in Sanur last week.
Whoa.
The last week of her life, that's for sure. Yeah, God bless her. Accounts of exactly what happened vary slightly, says the Sanor Weekly, but according to the local press, the woman fell down a small set of stairs before hitting the glass wall as she was leaving a souvenir shop on her way to the beach.
Wow.
Now, I know it's a terrible thing for the family. I'm sorry. But God has told me that we need to make light of our human condition. And I'm sorry, but it just made me laugh. And she reportedly, it's an awful story. We shouldn't laugh. It is an awful story. She reportedly suffered deep cuts to her left arm and upper back. And she was taken to hospital, but unfortunately couldn't be saved. It's understood that she suffered cuts to some major blood vessels. So now what gets me about this story is that she's gone to 77 years old. How do you want to go? Do you know what I mean? That's what I'm asking. So how would you like to go? Would you like to die of cancer? Would you like to have a long and debilitating disease? Or would you like to go to Bali and go upstairs to a souvenir shop and then on the way down, trip over your shoelaces and then fall fucking headlong through the shop front and open your veins? Now, I know we are a bit morbid sometimes on this podcast, but it just occurred to me that fucking hell, man. As long as someone's going to write about you when you leave this planet, then I'm okay with it. So anyway, other than that, there's not a great deal in the Sanor Weekly. There's the usual collection of drunken tourists and smuggling. Smuggling of sea turtles is a big thing here. So authorities in Bali have, once again thwarted the smuggling of 16 green sea turtles found on the back of a pickup truck in Jambrana. Police are still investigating, it says, but it appears the turtles were bound for restaurants in Denpasar. Now, these green turtles are highly protected species, and it's illegal to catch, possess, or trade them, or any part of them. And I think that's fine, unless you're Chinese, in which case you're going to eat anything that has the sun on its back. And I guess it's destined for a Chinese restaurant. Yeah. So the driver of the truck, who was paid $50 US to transport the turtles, was arrested and now faces up to 5 years in prison and a $6,000 fine. 16 of the 18 turtles, and this is the good bit about this story, are reportedly between 30 and 50 years old. I mean, they're old, man. They've now been released into the wild, while the remaining 2 have been deemed unfit for release and will remain temporarily in the care of a local turtle centre. So that's a good story.
Absolutely. No, the turtle place that is in Sonora, isn't it?
Well, there is one turtle place in Sanor. There's a few, but it's famously that. Yeah, but the green turtle, man, it lives for 100 years, and the Chinese love to eat it. I'm sorry to say, as they love to eat pretty much everything else, including. I don't know. Let's not go there, should we? But
no, let's not.
It's like, but it's funny that it's okay for like English to eat, let's say, fish. And but it's not okay for Balinese or Asian people to eat turtle, or dolphin. Do you know what I mean? Why not? I mean, I love dolphins. I don't actually believe in eating them, but what's the distinction between the dolphin and the tuna? Do you know what I mean? So,
Yeah. No, that's
yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, Ian, that's enough about me. Let's hear about, because you've got some dramatic news, because you've left Bali a few days ago, and you've made the trek back to England. So please tell us about the journey.
Yeah, so I've come back to England to do a bit of work for just a few months. And so flew back on. I started my flight on Tuesday. Thought I'd save a few quid by going to Jakarta and then on to England via Dubai.
Right.
I won't bother to do that again. But it was all right. Good little flight from Bali to Jakarta. A little bit of a layover for like a couple of 3 hours, and then jumped on the plane. Stopped at it's quite a nice going to Dubai. It's equidistant, so it's about 8 hours each side.
Yeah.
So I stopped at Dubai at breakfast time. Got royally ripped off. I thought, I'll have breakfast. I'll have a burger and a pint of lager. £24.
Well, it's an airport, so of course you expect to be ripped off, and it's probably Dubai.
And it was fucking horrible.
Well, you told me about this earlier. And honestly, my thoughts were that a burger and chips and a pint of Tiger beer for £24 wasn't a bad deal.
You think?
Yeah, that's how weird I just thought, okay, so that's what, like 500,000 rupiah, yeah? That's $50, not even $50. It's like 35, $40. I thought for an airport, I'd expect to pay for a pint of beer. I'd expect to pay at least $20 US.
Really?
15 to $20 US.
That's interesting. That's interesting. Yeah.
Isn't that normal?
I was quite
and then
surprised.
for a burger and chips, you got to be looking at paying at least another kind of $20. So I thought that to your 24 quid, and I know it might have seemed like a shock because that's what you spend a week on eating rice and vegetables in Bali. I thought that for that price, that actually wasn't bad.
Right. Well, yeah, and okay, so talk about food and pubs or bars.
Anyway, so from Dubai, you arrived where?
Back into England, and I'm now on the
Heathrow or Gatwick or what?
No, Stansted.
It's Stansted.
So easy.
Yeah, it's cool because it's in Norfolk, kind of Cambridgeshire way, isn't it? Yeah, Stansted. I know that airport quite well. It's a nice little airport.
That works well. Yeah. So I've got a very close mate, my cousin, in fact, who lives quite nearby. So he picked me up, stayed there for the night, and then landed in sort of Norfolk-Suffolk border for the duration. Yeah. So it's nice. Bought myself a Muta, got myself a Mondeo.
Oh, you bought a
21
Mondeo.
years old. Yeah.
20-year-old Mondeo. This reminds us, is that a British Leyland car? What is that?
No, it's Ford.
A Ford Mondeo, okay.
Yeah.
What colour is it?
Well, it's gold. That's lovely.
Gold Ford Mondeo. And how much did that cost?
£800.
800 quid.
Yeah.
800 quid. Yeah. So that's pretty reasonable. I don't think you could buy a car in Bali for that at all.
No.
You'd be looking at least 10 times that because of the tax. And there's no old cars here. So a 21-year-old gold Mondeo for 800 quid sounds to me like a bargain. Yeah.
No, it's brilliant. It's brilliant.
How's it drive?
It's really weird. It's lovely. No, it's great.
Lovely.
It's great.
Yeah.
But it's got a manual box.
You've already made up your 24 quid on your burger and chips.
That's right. That's true.
Tiger.
That's true. Yes.
On your gold Mondeo, which I assume that when you leave and finish your kind of working sabbatical in England, that you'll be able to sell again for probably
for 800 quid.
800 quid, So
there you go.
What about road tax and all that? Is that still going on?
Yeah, road tax. So I did 6 months. That's 184 quid. So that's quite expensive.
Okay.
Insurance.
You have to pay that as well.
Yeah. Insurance 325 quid for a year.
Okay, so it's ended up costing you like over £1,000.
Yeah. But I've got wheels.
It's not an £800 motor. It's actually a 30.
Yeah, but it'd be the same if I spent £2,000 on a motor. I'd still have to pay the tax and insurance. So.
Yeah, but okay. So the total on your gold 19 2000 whatever the fuck
2003.
2003 Ford Mondeo Gold is about 1,400 quid.
Yeah.
You know,
That's right.
I think it's a little bit more pricey, isn't it? So, what about petrol? What's the price of a litre or a
petrol's
gallon
come
of
down
petrol?
actually.
Has it?
Litre is now. I think I paid £1.54 a litre. So when I was in
£1.54.
England
So
last
what's
year,
that?
it was about £1.80.
£1.54 a litre is here we are just doing the calculation. That's about 30,000.
30,000, and we pay
which is
10.
a little bit more expensive than here, but we are an oil producing nation. But it's it's not far off the price, yeah. And then what else have you had to encounter that's cost you money?
Well,
that shocked you.
Just buying because I was because Air Asia, which was my first flight, I was adamant I wasn't going to bring a suitcase over. I don't want to stand there at a fucking carousel waiting for my belongings.
Carry on luggage only.
Yeah, carry on 7 kilos. You know,
7. That's not much.
It's not. So that was a laptop, my MacBook, an iPad. It's
got that, a MacBook
and
is
4
2
pairs of pants.
kilos. Yeah.
Yeah. 4 pairs of pants and a pair of socks, and that was it. So I've had to buy all my clothes.
Okay.
In the past couple of days, but I look rather resplendent. Yeah, so that's been all right.
So the price of clothes is pretty cheap as well, right? I mean, you just go to the local supermarket.
Not compared. Yeah, I went to the supermarket, so I got Tesco's Rejects jeans.
Okay.
Which we used to call as kids, 20 quid. That's all right.
400,000. Yeah, a bit pricey, but okay. Yeah.
T-shirts are about £8.
Okay, that's kind of standard here for a new T-shirt. Yeah. How's the weather?
The weather, it's nice. It's sunny today, but it's bloody cold. So I've been doing my walks. I did 6 kilometres on Friday, Saturday, and this morning, just down the lanes. But yeah, it's quite brisk. It's nothing like walking around GWK, put it like that. In 30 degrees of
no, it's not 30 degrees.
No, it's quite pleasant. It's nice.
It's quite pleasant.
So,
okay. So just on the Ford Mondeo, let's go back to that a bit. You know, the 21-year-old gold Ford Mondeo for which you paid 1,400 quid. How is it driving in the UK compared to having driven in Bali?
Right. Well, so first thing is of driving a manual gearbox, right?
Okay.
Our car in Bali, we've got a lovely Suzuki Ertiga, which is obviously auto. So and any lorry that I've been driving for the past, I know, 15 years has had an auto box as well. So jumping into a car with a manual gearbox. So
you sound like an American. You can't handle this just stick shift, man. But I've always driven stick shifts.
I got used to it within a mile. Yeah. But the most difficult, is just road habits. You know how it is at home in Bali. You know.
Yeah.
You go onto a roundabout.
Pretty chaotic here in Bali.
It doesn't matter if there's anyone coming onto you from a roundabout. You just pull in front of them, don't you?
Yeah.
So I'm getting used to giving way.
Yeah, exactly. So you can't be because you get in real trouble. You know, if you drive like you would in Bali. Many friends have told me this as well. When they've gone back to England after living here and driving, here, they've gone back and there's been road rage incidents in that, basically they've just had lazy habits. And these are things you cannot do in a structured and beautifully organised country, right? So
I always remember the first time when I first came out to Bali, I had a driver for a day, and we were talking about traffic, and he spoke very good English, and he said, in the West, he said, you have a traffic system. So if you go against the system or you break the system, then you have accidents and all trouble. He said, in Bali, we have a traffic feeling. And I thought that sums that up really well.
Very true.
You have. You have.
You have to.
We always yield, don't we?
Yes.
When we're riding or driving in Bali, you just yield, and it's great.
No. So in Bali, the feeling is right because nobody has been taught how to drive, so nobody is following any kind of system. So it's all a free for all, right? It's a massive free for all and very dangerous, I have to say as well.
Yeah.
On the red lights and stuff, people don't stop at red lights. and that ends up
you go the
in,
wrong way
terrible.
down dual carriageways.
It does end up in terrible injuries and death, amongst a lot of people. And some friends of mine have just been nailed at the red lights. So I don't know, man. Driving here, if you're coming on holiday to Bali, I would advise you to be very careful. That's what I'm going to say.
I wouldn't
wear a
advise
helmet because
anybody
you're probably going to need it. On your motorbike.
Exactly.
You're going to need it,
Yeah. So it'd be interesting. So tomorrow I'm starting to my work, which is driving Arctics.
Well, an Arctic truck.
Big old HGVs.
Well, how so like how big is the truck then?
As big as they get, 44 tons.
44 tons. So what is that like? Yeah. It's a cabin, and then
so it's a traction
unit
and a trailer. So this week I'm going to be on tankers, which is liquid shit.
Oh,
which is great.
Lovely. Yeah, so you'll be transporting liquid shit
put on a field
across county lines. Yeah, it's a bit like our podcast then.
That's right.
So what do you? So you just pick up the you just turn up with the cabin or the empty kind of
with a tray with a tanker.
Yeah, and then you drive it somewhere for 100 miles
and then it's unloaded. Yeah,
and then where does it get? Where does the shit go these days? Because I've heard a lot about England.
Pumped out onto fields.
Onto fields. Okay, not into the. Okay, not into the rivers.
Not into the sea.
Okay. Well, that's good news. No. Not like Bali, because they just pump it straight.
No, exactly. Yeah.
Beautiful Bali.
Yes.
Oh my God. So how long are you going to be doing that?
Well, it will. The job will change, but I'm going to be over here for a few months, doing whatever, whenever, but all sort of truck driving. So yeah, that's okay.
Trucker, you're a truck. Do you still have CB radios in the trucks?
Yeah, some people do, but no, fuck that.
No? Hello, big buddy.
No.
Meet you at that truck stop, big buddy.
Yeah.
And then you get sucked off by some sort of, hairy-assed trucker. Yeah.
That's right. Yeah.
No, I mean, what are truck stops like in the UK these days? Is it still the same?
They're hideous. So I went, I was back last year doing a similar thing, and we were working
sucking cock in a trucks.
No.
Oh, sorry.
Trucks are so expensive. So expensive. To stop in a truck stop overnight is for probably more than £30 now to park a lorry, and then there's no security. You still get your diesel nicked or your load taken or whatever.
Your load is taken by some hairy ass.
That's not a euphemism.
No, but so when you're in there, then there's a cafe, right?
No, proper truck stops. There's few and far between now. It's all fucking motorway service areas.
Okay.
And
by a little chef or something. Do they still have a little chef?
I don't know. I don't know.
I mean, what do you eat when you go to the truck stop?
Well, your choices are very limited. It's usually fucking McDonald's or Burger King or KFC. They're just inhabited all these motorway services.
Right.
So your choices are very limited.
Do you have? Let's talk about specifics. Do you have like night walkers? Sort of toothless grannies. Who sort of walk between the cabins offering, like America. I see that still happens, right? I mean, it's a big thing.
I don't know. I don't stop in truck stops. I stop.
Okay, but where you are going to be stopping in truck stops?
No, I'm not.
No, you're not.
I don't stop in truck stops. No.
So you don't know anything about what goes on in truck stops?
No.
Right.
No.
Well, you're not saying.
I'm not. I don't stop in truck stops.
Okay. So tell me the most complicated thing about driving. Tell me the most complicated thing about driving an Arctic truck.
The most complicated thing?
Yeah, for someone like me who can barely, tie his shoelaces.
Right. It's just a skill that you learn with years, and I've been doing it since I was about 18.
So for me, I see parking and reverse parking, one of those big Arctics is a skill. That requires some sort of knowledge of dynamics, opposite
If
dynamics.
you can do it, you can do it. If you can't, it's a fucking nightmare.
But you learn it, right?
So,
I mean,
of course you do. Of course you do.
Someone teaches you how to do that. But is that the most complicated thing about driving an Arctic?
Probably.
Or is it like different gears and shit that are...
No. They're all automatics now. So you just, they're really easy to drive.
And do you have still have like only certain amount of miles you can drive before a rest?
It's hours, so you have tachographs, so you can do 4.5 hours driving.
So there's a record of everything you do.
Everything you do, and it's all on a card, like a credit card size thing, which is
like
then
a black
downloaded.
Box,
yeah, similar sort of thing. So, and you download that every fortnight. And then if you get stopped by the police or by VOSA or whatever they're called now, they will download your card. And if you've done anything naughty, gone over your hours, whatever, then you get hammered. You really do. Serious shit. Big fines. So
but you're not doing any overnight stuff. It's just
no. My work will be just days.
hauling liquid shit from one end, from the mouth to the river. And back again,
yeah. So I'll have more tales to tell this time next week.
Yeah, right, cool. Yeah,
and hopefully
cool. Have you caught up with some mates yet?
I saw my brother yesterday and saw another old mate yesterday afternoon. So but it's just been just getting settled.
You've been in the pub?
Yeah, we got a pub in the village. So here's the thing. Right, so me and another mate went to the pub on Thursday night. 2 meals, 2 drinks, and it came to 32 quid. So I thought that was all right.
32 quid. So what drinks? Like
four drinks. Four drinks.
Four drinks.
Yeah, so 2 pints of cider. Yeah, 2 pints of cider.
2 pints
of vodka.
Cider.
And a pint of Coke. Well, a pint of Coke is probably as much as a pint of beer. And then 2 nice meals for 32 quid. So that was all right.
With like microwaved French fries and stuff, or is it like...
No, mashed potato and sausages.
Mashed potatoes and sausages.
Don't tell my wife.
Well, 30 quid, man. That's pretty cool, man. That's okay.
That'll do.
600,000. So the whole Brexit thing then, have you noticed any difference really from when you were there before, like a year ago, is it, or 2 years ago, until when you come back? Have you noticed anything that's really more expensive? Because what you're telling me is, what I'm hearing is that things sound pretty similar to what they've always kind of.
No, I would say last year was a real shock when I came back in June to then just jump straight in a lorry and be away and have to buy, because I cook and stuff in my cab. So to buy food.
You cook in the cab?
Yeah.
Well, how do you do that? I mean, there's the kitchen in the cab?
Yeah. I've got an Arga.
You see, an Arga in the cab. But you see, it's so normal for you, but most people have no idea what it's like actually being in a lorry, so.
It is shit. It is shit. But we do it. And
what do you do when you need a piss and stuff like that?
Well, there's always a hedge.
Okay, so you stop the Arctic. You stop the Arctic.
It's not an Arctic. It's not a fucking Arctic. It's an Arctic. As in
Arctic. Sorry, Arctic. I've done an articulated lorry.
Yes.
So you stop the articulated lorry in a fucking lay-by and have a piss in
or a motorway services.
Okay, or it have to be in motorway services, right? You can't just stop it anywhere and get out and have a piss. I assume, yeah. So you have to wait between trucker stops, yeah. Where you might hope for some hoe action,
You've been reading far too many books.
I know it goes on, man. I know it goes on. So the fact you don't want to tell us about it, that's absolutely fine, because this podcast, of course, is internationally famous and and watched by the Marquis of Bute.
Of Bute, yes,
he's watching, and he's waiting for us to tell the story of the Marquis and Mr. Scott. It's not a pretty story. I'm not sure we have time for it though.
Oh, for goodness sake!
Next week. We'll get there.
Okay. We shall. Bang tidy. Oh, have you stopped?
I have stopped, yeah. Well, I haven't stopped, but yeah. It's only 20. It's 29 minutes. That's all right. And then we're bunging the things. Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be 30, wouldn't it?
That'll do. Chuck it out. That'd be fine.
Right. See what happens.
Yeah.